Will you wait?
Will you wait?
Will you wait for Willie?
Will you wait for Willie?
Will you wait for Willie and Winnie Williams?
Will you wait for Willie and Winnie Williams?
Good. Will you wait for Willie and Winnie Williams, the worldwide welterweights? Breathe.
Will you wait for Willie and Winnie Williams, the worldwide welterweights?
Repeat after me. Will you wait for Willie and Winnie Williams?
Will you wait for Willie and Winnie Williams?
The worldwide welterweights?
The worldwide welterweights?
Will you, will you, will you?
Will you, will you, will you?
No, I won't.
No, I won't.
But of course.
But of course.
Nah.
Nah.
Sure. Forget it.
Forget it.
If you can use your face to convey meaning as well as your full physical self, your gestural world, and your voice, I said if we can merge all that together in this one simple exercise, you'll be golden for succeeding at theater. And I try and really warm them up and give them confidence. So that's why we pass around this very simple, ordinary phrase. So we could do, what's an ordinary one? How are you? 3 words, how are you? So if I go to my left, and the goal of the game is you can't, and this is such a small group, you can't imitate the person before you. That's the other rule. You have to come up with your own interpretation. So how are you if I turn? How are you? And now she's going to transform.
How are you?
Transformation and rhythm. How are you?
I like the eyes.
We're going well, and don't forget to incorporate, then I'll side coach, remember, incorporate your full body.
How are you?
That was perfect, you guys, that I'd point out to everybody, oh, that was a blend of it all. How lovely. Next.
How are you?
Yes.
How are you?
I guess I'm fine. I don't know. Fie, you counterfeit, you puppet, you. Go your way.
Bye, you counterfeit, you puppet, you.
Oh, good pee on the explosion. Sorry.
Fie, you counterfeit, you. Whatever.
Puppet you.
Puppet.
Puppet you.
Oh, that was great. See how different it all can be. Oh, David.
Fie. You counterfeit. You puppet, you.
Ooh, how derogatory. Yeah.
Fie, you counterfeit, you puppet, you.
There's the clear
Anger.
Don't judge yourself as excellent. Okay.
Fie. You counterfeit, you puppet, you.
Great face. Great face.
Fie, you counterfeit, you puppet, you.
No, I'm not. I'm not a puppet. And then you go, then sometimes I let them go on a riff. I was saying, if you want to do a little improv, you can. But, and then you point out, you can always side coach. That was awesome, like with a change of emotion, that I pick out what I love, even in this simple little exercise, in order to, remember that from the first day when I came here, I love the fact that wherever you can praise the student to open up so that they can take a risk. I just read a great article about teaching, I didn't read it, I was listening to Sir Ken Robinson, and he was talking about the fact that if you don't give kids the opportunity to fail, then they won't be able to take a risk. And for me, so conversely, if I can mete out that praise wherever I can slip it in, that's going to give the student the ability to take that risk and try. And it's okay to fail. We're okay. We don't get the thing correctly. The words here. We're putting in a good effort. But I really was struck by that, you know what I mean? And so the purpose of his talk, you can look it up on YouTube, was that the schools are killing the creativity out of the kids. And to him, that was one of the reasons why, because we're not giving them the opportunity to fail as well. And that's how I look at it. I try and work it from the opposite point of view there. Radio drama, radio theater is the art of creating vivid mental pictures based on words. So this is why I love this for the classroom. It's the importance of the text, right? That we want to make that text come alive. So it's pictures based on words, sound, and or music. And sound effects, they can create them by themselves with whatever you have around you, and I'll ask you to do that in a minute for me when you adapt a short little script, just a couple paragraphs is all for the demo. and so I'll use them and I'll show them, here are some things that I bought. So you can buy stuff for your classroom, but you can also work with what you've got. And I have a handout on ordinary objects that we use to make sound effects, so you can take a look at the handout and go, oh, I can bring in a box of rice, I can bring in, well, these coconut shells over there. Little things.
When we started years ago, we had done video at our summer camp, and we thought, can we do radio? And, you know, because it's a different time, and we weren't sure that kids could really handle just the audio without the visual.
I was nervous about adding it as a class, to
That it
tell you the
just might
truth. Really
fall
nervous.
flat on its face. But there's always a thing with human beings in that, you know, your voice when you record it and play back to you sounds very different to you than it does from here, because it's all coming out of here, and your
Yeah.
ears are here, and your mouth is here, so it's always going to be different coming back. But your voice recorded is what it sounds like, and it's always a shocker to people. But then, once you get beyond that, it's then what can I do with it, and let me hear what's happening with it too. So, what we found was that kids still love to hear themselves
Oh,
play
yeah.
back, as they always have, and probably always will.
Yeah.
So even though they can sit and listen and look around the room at each other and kind of imagine, it's better sometimes to show them how far they can go if they just kind of zone out, you know, or at least quietly close their eyes and listen. Then they can get real pictures going. So I think it's such a great thing, radio. To me, it's more fun than the video we do, honestly. And I'm just shocked that kids really love it. And our enrollment in it all the time is,
It's
you know,
very
we
popular
close out
now.
early. Kids want to get
Right,
in, they
I close
can't.
the section that fills immediately, so they enjoy it, and it's a lot of improv work.
And the only other thing I'll add before we
Yeah.
start in is that, as Lisa said, I stay away from scripted pieces with very young kids because their reading ability really gets in the way. And it can sometimes make some of them very upset with themselves. Others who it comes to easily, you know, are usually more enthusiastic about the whole project.
Right.
Whereas if it's improvisational and you start off quick and easy with certain things, then everybody's on board and we seem to stay along together with an even feeling about things.
Good morning, this is Liz Eastman coming to you live from WEMS. Good morning, listeners. This is DJ Lindsay Linz up on the 1-2s. We're coming to you live from station EMS.
Good morning. This is Lisa Satterway coming to you live from EMS.
The house was near the beach. It was a big old place where no one had lived for years. From time to time, somebody would force open a window or a door and spend the night there, but never longer. 3 fishermen caught in a storm took shelter there one night. With some dry wood they found inside, they made a fire in the fireplace. They lay down on the floor and they tried to get some sleep, but none of them slept that night.
First, they heard footsteps upstairs. It sounded like there were several people moving back and forth, back and forth. When one of the fishermen called,
Hey, somebody up there?
the footsteps stopped. Then they heard a woman scream. The scream turned into a groan and died away. Blood began to drip from the ceiling into the room where the fishermen huddled. A small red pool formed on the floor and soaked into the wood. A door upstairs crashed shut. And again, the woman screamed. "Not me!" she cried. Then it sounded as if she was running, her high heels tapping wildly down the hall.
Fisherman heard someone coming down the stairs, dragging something heavy as that bump on each step. They heard him drag it through the front hall and out the front door. The door opened. Then it slammed shut. Again, silence. Suddenly, a flash of lightning filled the house with a green blaze of light. A ghastly face stared at the fisherman from the hallway. Then came a crash of thunder. Terrified, they ran out into the storm.